Jim Jones has always been a figure surrounded by controversy, but this time, things have spiraled out of control. What began as a routine day at the airport quickly turned into a chaotic showdown that could very well mark the end of his career. Witnesses described the scene as something straight out of a reality TV meltdown, bags flying, voices screaming, and a moment where it looked like Jim had thrown it all away. Industry insiders are already talking, and the whispers aren't good. Promoters are pulling back, sponsors are going silent, and fans are left divided. Social media is in an uproar, with some backing Jim while others claim this is the beginning of the end. But the real question remains, how did it all start? Did Jim provoke the fight, or was he set up? And most importantly, has this one moment completely destroyed his career? Jim walked through the airport with his signature swagger, dressed in a designer tracksuit, sunglasses resting low on his nose, heavy chains draped around his neck. It was just another day, another flight, another city. The flashing cameras and murmurs of recognition from fans didn't faze him. He was used to it. But something felt off. The air was thick with tension, the kind you can't quite place but feel in your bones. At first, he ignored it. Maybe it was nothing. Maybe he was just tired. But then, a voice cut through the airport noise like a blade. "You really think you can just walk around like that?" Jim slowed his steps, his brow furrowing slightly behind his shades. He turned his head just enough to see who had spoken. Standing a few feet away was a man, mean-looking, jaw clenched tight, eyes locked on him. Jim's heart rate didn't change, he was used to confrontation, used to people trying to press him in public. Usually, it was nothing, a hater, a clout chaser, someone looking for a viral moment. But this? This felt different. The man stepped closer, his hands balling into fists. People noticed. A murmur spread through the crowd. Phones came out. Cameras started rolling. Something was about to go down. Jim adjusted his duffel bag on his shoulder, exhaling slowly. His mind raced. Did he know this dude? Had he crossed him before? "Man, I don't even know who you are," Jim said coolly, his voice steady. Wrong answer. The man lunged, fast, aggressive. A shove sent Jim stumbling backward, his foot catching on a metal divider, nearly causing him to fall. His sunglasses flew off, skidding across the floor. Gasps erupted from the crowd. A woman clutched her purse, stepping back in shock. A little boy tugged at his mother's sleeve, eyes wide. People froze. But Jim wasn't the type to back down. He steadied himself, his face darkening. "That's how you want to play it?" His voice was low, controlled, but anyone who knew Jim Jones understood what that tone meant. It meant war. The man smirked, cracking his knuckles. He wanted this. He had planned for this. He was looking for a fight. Jim dropped his duffel bag. Game on. The first punch came wild, fast, barely missing Jim's face. Jim dodged, quick on his feet. Instinct kicked in. He wasn't new to this. He'd thrown hands in worse places than an airport. But this wasn't just any fight, this was a spectacle. The cameras were rolling, every move being recorded. And Jim knew it. He had two choices, fight back and risk everything, or walk away and look weak. His pride made the decision for him. Jim swung, a clean hit to the shoulder. The man grunted but didn't back down. Instead, he lunged again, grabbing at Jim's collar, trying to pull him forward. Jim fought back. Chaos erupted. TSA officers rushed forward, shouting. The entire airport was watching. The fight was messy, raw, brutal. No flashy moves. No staged nonsense. Just pure rage. The man threw another punch. Jim blocked it. Jim swung. The man ducked. They locked in a struggle, gripping each other's shirts, muscles straining. Then, bam. The man slammed Jim against a metal railing. The sound echoed through the terminal. A collective gasp rippled through the crowd. Security was closer now. People were screaming. Someone knocked over a luggage cart. A baby started crying. It was complete madness. Jim gritted his teeth. This dude wasn't just here to fight. He wanted to humiliate him. That wasn't going to happen. Jim twisted, breaking free from the grip, and landed one solid punch. Direct hit. The man stumbled. A trickle of blood ran from his lip. He wiped it with the back of his hand and smirked. He liked this. He wanted more. But he wasn't getting it. At that exact moment, security tackled them both, hard. Jim hit the ground, face pressed against the cold airport floor. A knee in his back. Handcuffs snapping around his wrists. It was over. Or so Jim thought. Because what happened next would turn this from a viral fight into the biggest scandal of his career. As security yanked Jim to his feet, the murmurs of the crowd confirmed his worst fears. Damn, Jim really out here wildin'. Ain't no way he coming back from this. Those words cut deeper than any punch. Because they weren't just words, they were reality. Jim's mind raced. Who set this up? Why? His label? An industry rival? Someone looking for clout? Or was this even bigger, something from his past finally catching up with him? His head snapped toward his so-called opponent, now being escorted away by another officer. Their eyes locked. And then, the man winked. That was all Jim needed to see. This was a trap. And Jim knew one thing for certain, the real fight was just beginning. Thanks for watching. For more news and latest update, please don't forget to subscribe our channel.